Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for our Workforce TeleStaff webinar, Session 5 on Basic Automation Techniques. And a little bit about JK Seva. We're a team of professionals driven to transform business processes across healthcare, public sector, hospitality, and gaming. We focus on software solutions to meet your organization's HR payroll, finance, supply chain management, and workforce management needs. And JK Seva is recognized as a leader in workforce telestaff consulting services. We have consultants who have worked in a wide range of public safety roles, from police, fire, paramedic, and other city and public safety jobs. We have expertise in implementations, upgrades, product enhancements, automation rollout, disaster planning, custom reporting, integrations and interfaces, and enhanced training options. And for more information, please visit our website at jkseva.com. And my name is Emily. I'm the relationship manager here at JK Seva, and I'm based out of Chicago. And James Waring, he is our guest speaker today. And James has 31 years of fire and EMS experience and has served all ranks from firefighter, paramedic, flight medic, fire lieutenant, up to operations supervisor. He's also a public safety scheduling coordinator, and he has been a TeleStaff user since 2003 and the scheduling coordinator while in various departments. And he is down in Florida. We have Bill Mitchell. He's the president here at JK Seva, and he is based out of California. He's been working in ERP and workforce management for over 20 years and will be helping us close out our presentation today, and he'll also be leading us through our live Q&A. And by this time, you're probably already familiar with TeleStaff, so we will get started, and I will pass this off to James.
Thank you, Emily. Workforce TeleStaff is basically as you're already familiar with, a accurate personal scheduling when it comes to scheduling your personnel, developing your rosters, and planning your workday events. TeleStaff can be used in an automated role based on rules that are built into the system. It will automate and make automatic callouts to your employees for overtime disbursement. It does have multiple integration communication techniques. They could call or can contact everybody by either email, telephone, SMS, or texting, or an email to text service. And in times of disaster relief or disaster response, it is able to do spot call outs to generate a callback scenario. Today, we're going to discuss automating your system for calling overtime, as well as it can even be used for mandatory purposes. The first thing you're going to need to do is, when you're preparing your system for automation, is make sure that all your list chains are built correctly and the sorting process does comply with your policies and procedures, and if you have a union contracts. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your outbounding techniques on how you want to outbound all your calls, whether or not you want to email, text, phone calls, however your employees prefer to be contacted. And the final way that we're going to go over is, whether or not these are going to be filling them by people signing up for them, or if you're just going to call out for voluntary sign up or requests for filling a shift based on the sorting methods that are built into your system. Now, when you build these systems, you're going to need to have a task manager installed into your system to run your task at what times are selected or how far out in advance you need them to be done. The first thing you're going to do is go into your task manager. You want to create a new task. And as you can see here, we have a task, and all you're going to need to do at this stage is just name the task. After you name the task, you're going to click on the button at the top of the task. You're going to build it. This is where you're going to build your meat and potatoes of your task. You're going to name it again. Then you're going to select the task type of auto hire. In auto hire, basically it will run those list chains in the order that you select and start making the call outs for outbounding purposes. You're going to select, how far out you want it to call, how far out you want to look for vacancies, and such forth, using the from and through dates. The shifts button, you basically just want to leave that none selected because default is going to go through all your shifts, and mainly with like fire departments, you can basically have 3 shifts, A, B, and C. Some agencies have the A, B, C, and D. Battalions is depending on where your openings are. Usually just leave it blank because sometimes people work across different battalions depending on how large your agency is. Attempt for next blank minutes. You want to leave it blank because it's going to start at 60 minutes automatically, and how long it's going to run. Generally, you set these for about 360 to run for about 6 hours. That way it gives it enough time to run through the list depending on how many people are qualified. With fill orders, you just want to leave that blank. You want that all fill orders, so that it basically fills all the positions. Next, you want to select the applicable list chain. When you build these chains, you're going to have all your chains built, and you're just going to select that default chain that you want it to run every time. And then limit to institution. If you are running a multiple institutional system, you're going to want to obviously select that to your system. The next thing you're going to do is set the schedule of how often you want to run these tasks. To do this, you're going to name the description of the task. Sometimes you're going to run multiple schedules, so you need to have a unique name for each schedule run. The schedule type, it uses either an advanced scheduler or cron expression. Personally, I prefer the cron expression because it's once you understand how this cron expression is written, it makes very easy use to build it however you want it to run and how often you want it to run and at what time you want it to run. At the very the right side, the run schedule, you can set it to run, not to run before a certain time, like at 8 o'clock in the morning, because you don't want to start calling people at 5 o'clock in the morning or 3 in the morning. They might get a little upset. And you don't want it to run after a certain time. So like at 10 o'clock at night, it shuts down and it won't continue to run. Now, the call out list and the automation before, what you were doing is you were manually having to set off these lists and do a manual outbound to call out for openings and vacancies in your schedule. With the automated outbounding, it'll run at certain times of the day depending on needs, or if there is a certain need. This can be done with a roster alarm that can trigger an outbound. So if you have someone call out sick at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you put that vacancy, the system will trigger a roster alarm. And then if that roster alarm is triggering in the system, it can trigger an automatic outbound to start trying to fill that position. You can also build list chains to run multiple different list chains at one single call out. So say you can start calling out for vacancies up to as far in advance as you want, but generally I like to keep it within 90 days. You can have one list call out for 30 to 90 days out. You can have another list running from 2 weeks to 1 month out, and then you have a final list running from 0 to 14 days out. And you can have them run all consecutively or concurrently and fill the positions in different sort lists depending on how far out. So like, for example, if it's like a very far out, you're looking at 90 days out, most of the time it's rank for rank. When you start getting a little bit closer to the day, you'll go rank for rank and then who can write up or act as. And then usually, you come down to the final minute, hey, we got to get this slot filled. Basically, I need a body in this slot. And when you're setting your outbounds, you need to set correctly how you want this called. You want them to be emailed. You want them to be, well, if anybody ever uses a pager anymore. You can have an SMS text system set up if you have a version 7.2 or above. You have people phone. And also with the email, all cellular providers have a text to email address that you enter, like their phone number at sprint.pcs.com, and it'll send it out as a text message, an MMS message to their cell phone telling them, hey, there's an opening, you need to log on to TeleStaff. If you have the newer version where it has SMS, you can interact using a third service, Trulio, that'll allow them, hey, do you want to via text, it'll send them a message, hey, this shift is open, do you want it? Respond 1 for yes, 2 for no, and they can accept it via text messaging. And you can also set this up for, it could do multiple contact methods, so that make the first attempt at one contact, the second attempt at the other. I like to keep it at just one contact, that way the system runs faster and smoother. Now, Bill has some other options that we could help you with the automation of your system.
Hey, thanks, James. There's different ways to do this. I mean, with your automation, you know, there's quite a few things that James went over, and there's different ways to go about it, different settings and all the different things. And if you feel confident to do it yourself, that's great. That's why we do these things, to add value and to give you the opportunity to do that. There's other ways to do it. Have it done with you, do it with you. And then the last one is done for you. So that's why we put those things together. So DIY, DWY, and DFY. So what we're trying to do is just help you move down the line a little bit and get that going. If you have any questions, go ahead and put in the question, the question section on the right. Go ahead and put that in there. This is designed as a quick kind of give you some add value, and also to go ahead and make sure we answer some of your questions. So if you have that, if you haven't entered them already, go ahead and put that in the question side. But we can help you in different ways. And even if you try and do it yourself and it doesn't work, or you have some issues, then of course we would be more than happy to help you as well. So thank you for that. Go ahead. Oh, so we're going right into questions. We wanted, again, these are quick kind of things, so we want to go ahead and ask the questions, see if there's any questions so far. Well, I guess I'm the one monitoring that, so let me open it up. So there we go. We do have one here. Hey, James, make sure you're still available to talk. What are some of the complications that could arise if not configured correctly?
Well, you can have the list calling out in the wrong order according to the policy and procedures and the CBAs that you may have in place. It could be using the incorrect sort orders if you don't do an extensive testing on your system to make sure that they are calling in the correct order. You could also have it set to the wrong times, to where it'll, not the time of day, but how long it's going to hold the position or reserve the position for that employee, or it gives how long that they can still sign up for that section. So you have to make sure all the testing and everything is correct for the system to run as efficiently as you want it to be, without any cause and concern from your membership.
Yeah, and thanks for that, because a lot of times the testing kind of, I guess, often gets glanced over, and so you're right. Yeah, thank you for hitting that. The multiple testing, prior to the implementation is a big deal. And also, I would say training as well. So if there's some things that maybe you feel like you need more training on, you can certainly, UKG has some packages, but we also can help you with some individualized training if you need that. Or like I said, there's packages within the UKG system. It's hard to say that now, Kronos system with the TeleStaff. Another question here that we have, can these lists that are set up as automated also be triggered to run manually? So can you run them manually that are outside of the automation?
Yes, you can always go into the status, correction, the activity log of your, not the activity log, I'm sorry, the system status on your system underneath the system tab. You can manually run these tasks as needed. So if you have like a large call out, or not a large call out, but a large deployment, or an unfortunate huge disaster, like say a large wildfire or something, you can always trigger a running of the list that you already have pre-built instead of having to go in and do individual outbounds for each position. So if you're trying to fill 20 slots, you don't have to do 20 different outbounds. You can just go in, run that task manager, and it'll just start making those calls for you.
And a kind of follow up on that is, how do you get to the task manager? Just a quick.
It's in your system tab at the top of your screen in TeleStaff when you're looking at your dashboard. You just click on system and it'll be at the very bottom, system. Well, it says system twice. I don't know why they do that, but system. And then when you click on that, it'll open up different options, and you can either go under task manager, highlight the task you want, and there'll be a little run button that highlights. You click it and it'll start running that task automatically for you.
Okay, let me know if there's any follow-up questions to that on that one. Let's see if there's any more while that's going. Are you? Yes, right here. Are you able to blend list chains into one automation sequence?
Yes, that's like I was talking about earlier, when you're making call outs for different times and different, who you want to qualify for the positions. You can have the certain lists that are not used if the duration is like greater than 24 hours away, or if it's within a certain time frame. You can have that list trigger and be used, or be completely avoided, passed, and goes to the next list in the chain. How you have it set up, because it's always set up from top to bottom, and it'll start with the first one at the top and work its way down. And usually I'll have furthest one out at the top, intermediate, and the second one, the third slot's like I need this slot filled soon, like a scorched to earth type situation, and usually followed at the end by a mandatory list. That I don't recommend the mandatory for automation. A lot of people want that phone call, hey, you're mandatory, sorry. Or you can have it set up to where, hey, your phone call mandatory, you put it in the slot, sorry. So it's all on departmental needs and preferences.
Yeah, and this is where we talk about, do it yourself, do it with you, or do it for you, or done for you. Want to make sure that you set these up correctly. So some of these things I would say are a little more advanced, and if you don't feel comfortable with them, do it in test first. You don't do it in production. Do it in test first, and then see if it's working. If you're having some issues, that's when you call one of us, or we can help you kind of map it out first and get it going. So a lot of times with this kind of things is clients will have us do it with them. So so let's see, another question here. Does the process provide an audit if there's a conflict? Oh, that's a good question.
Yes, there's multiple different ways you can look at how the call out went. You can go through a report section and look at contact logs, see who was contacted, and you judge by the times, see what time everybody was contacted. And if somebody was actually missed on the list, you go back to that slot, go into your fill by rules section, and it'll say, "Are you want to fill for non-vacancies?" Yes. And at the top of the screen, it'll be an audit button. Click the audit button. It'll drop down a list of names. You select the name of the person of who didn't get called, select it, and then it'll give you the list and the reasoning why they didn't get called. There'd be a red X next to them, a yellow X, or if it's blank, that means they passed that rule. So that's your different ways that you can look at auditing the system.
Okay. So is that something that you want to do? Well, it sounds like that might be something that you need some help with if you're not familiar how to do that. So that's fine. One other questions that, and I'll answer this one. And I did answer this directly, but I think it's important to say to everybody. Will we be able to receive a copy of this recorded webinar? As Emily had said, right out the gate, and maybe some people got on a few minutes late after that. Yes, we will be. This will be on our website and also on the YouTube page very, very soon here. Almost immediately, I guess. But so yeah, if you have any other questions beyond that, or if you need some help, please don't hesitate. I think that's all the questions we have, Emily. Let me just double check, make sure there's no more. You're welcome, Shelley. Let's see, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So again, if you need to contact us or want to contact us, here's the information. Thank you. We try and do, if you have any other webinar sessions that you think would be good related to TeleStaff or Kronos for that matter, please don't hesitate to, hey, say, can you do one on this? Or if you want to set up a time that you want a demo or need some help individually, let us know that as well. So again, contact@jksaver.com would be any questions, and then sales team at jksaver.com would be for a demo or if you need some help. So appreciate everybody for being on. Hopefully it was helpful, quick hitting things. That's what we're trying to do, is just add to the community. So hopefully this is good. So again, thanks from James, from Emily, from myself, for you to joining. That's it for now. Thanks. Bye-bye.